Hey guys, I'm here to do my February wrap up. A few days late. I've had a cold. I still do. So if I sneeze or anything, I'll try and cut it out. But yeah, that could happen. Actually, I read quite a lot in February. I feel like I read all the time. But yeah, when I see the books, I don't feel like it's as much. Anyhow, I think the first book that I finished in February was Sophie Kinsella, Where's Audrey? This is a YA novel. My boyfriend bought this, and I decided to pick it up after him because I read a few other chick lit for adults, which I kind of enjoyed just to spend my time when I've been reading a lot of heavier things. So yeah, and I just felt like the premise of this book sounded interesting. It's about Audrey. She's 14 years old and she went through something at school before summer, which you don't get to know what exactly happened, but a few other girls behaved like crap and they got expelled, and Audrey um, got into the psych ward, and she just has anxiety disorder and social phobia, which is very severe illness. I have mental disorders of my own. I'm doing well now, but yeah, it was just interesting to read about a YA or a teenage book about these kind of things, still being kind of humorous. Sophie Kinsella writes kind of very lighthearted, and that was nice. I mean, I guess this is not a book that I enjoyed most in my life, but it was nice. It's a nice read. I guess I'd love this if I was 14 or 15 when I read it. Um, Especially with the same kind of problems. And I think it's a good thing more writers write about this, even in more kind of light fiction, just to make more people aware that it's a problem. People have to deal with this shit. And there's help to get, but it's not easy, especially when people don't really understand it's a serious problem. Feeling afraid and a lot of angst. It's just not a phase. It's not a phase. It's a real illness. So that's what I enjoyed most. It was kind of cute. She meets this guy who has the same name as my boyfriend, which is weird. And yeah, her mother is nuts. I was so mad. I feel like no one can act like that, but I guess they do. Because most of the story is not about Audrey, really. It's from her perspective. But you get to know her family a lot, which is great. I really like that aspect. You really get to know her mom and dad and siblings, and that was nice. I enjoyed this for a YA. I did enjoy this. Then I read a new book, a French book that's been translated to Swedish by Malais de Kerang. Something I can't pronounce that. In Swedish it's called Att hela det levande. I'll put English translation here because I didn't look it up beforehand. And this is kind of a hospital novel, sort of. It was a bit different than what I expected from reading the back. It sounded amazing, and I really liked the beginning. She has a very descriptive language, writing style. It's super descriptive, and it's just I didn't feel like I got to know the characters, which I guess you're not supposed to anyhow, because you're supposed to follow this young man who dies in a surfing accident, and where his organs go when he dies, because he donates them. And I got the feeling that you were supposedly following the people who got the organs, but you didn't. You really followed the organs and like the hospital stuff. So that was kind of, yeah, I don't know. I I did enjoy her language to begin with as well, but then I felt it was just like it was too descriptive and it's kind of long, so it got too much, I guess, for me. Yeah, I feel like I could have enjoyed it more than I did. Yeah, kind of weird. Yeah, I don't know. And then I read a Swedish book by Charlotta Larsson called Förvanderskan. Next up is a very new Swedish YA book, which I love. This was so amazing. It's called Gudarna by Elin Kullhed. It translates the gods, and it's about 3 girls who stops calling themselves girls and instead they call themselves the gods. They are in high school, I believe, and this is a very feministic kind of writing, and it's just very out there and free-spirited, and I wish this book existed when I was younger. I just loved everything about this. It was just so, yeah, everything a teenage book should be, really, for girls and for guys as well. It's just really weird, but yeah, I can't really explain it, and it's not translated, so, but look at this cover, it's beautiful. Yeah, very much enjoyed this. Then I read some poetry. I got Wool Gathering by Patti Smith. I kind of enjoyed this. It's supposedly poetry, but I feel like it's more like a memoir, a lyrical memoir, because all of it's true. She wrote down her memories from when she was younger. It was okay. I gave it 3 stars. It's not kids. What's just kids? It's not just kids. And then I read another favorite Swedish author, which I recently just decided is one of my favorite Swedish authors. And she's also a poet. She writes very lyrical, like prose poetry. I'm not sure what it's called in English. It looks kind of like this, you know, more text, and sometimes it's less. But she's called Åsa Eriksdotter, and this book is called Förbindelse, and I've read quite a lot of her books recently. They're all very short and about weird love situations, sort of. This is about a lover of a man who already has a woman, I guess. And the other book I read by her was about the same kind of thing. So yeah, but she debuted when she was 18 with another book, and yeah, and supposedly she is releasing a novel this year. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And this is from the library. I got almost all her books from the library, I guess, and they were in the poetry shelf. So, but I want to own all her books because I really love her. She also got this free-spirited kind of language, and it's just really, I wish I wrote like her. That's what I'm trying to say. I wish I wrote like her, and it's just amazing. I don't think she's translated either. I know she lives abroad now. I think she lives in the USA. I'm not sure. I'm rambling. I'm just tired and sick. I'm sorry. So that's supposedly what I read in February. I feel like I read so much more, but maybe because I've been sick and I read 4 books the last 2 days. So and all of them has to go back to the library, so I thought I'd show them to you in this February wrap-up instead of waiting a month and keeping them at home for a month just to show them in the March wrap-up. So here we go. I read Everyone Should Be Feminists by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I really like this. I don't think I saw the TED Talk. I've seen parts of it, and I've heard parts of it in Beyonce's video, but I really enjoyed this, reading this. I think she has a lot of great points, and it's just great to read feminism from another point of view, from another culture's point of view, and just to get to know how it's in Nigeria and how she feels when she's home and what she can't do and what she can do. Yeah, everyone should read this. Then I read a children's book, which I also loved. I love this illustrator. I wish I could draw like that. She's just so hilarious, and she's also a great writer, but this is another writer. The writer is called Linn Gottfridsson and the illustrator is Emma Adbåge, and this is Mira's liv. It's about this little boy and his parents are fighting in English, and he gets really sad, and yeah, it's about a divorce, being a child of divorce, and it was very cute and nice. And yeah, you Swedish librarians, definitely buy this to the library and read to the kids. And then I read another poetry book. I'm into reading a lot of poetry right now. I've borrowed tons at the library and also bought a few poetry books recently, which I haven't hauled. Will Gathering was one of them, but this is from the library, and this is a Danish author, Julie Sten Knudsen. This is called Atlanten växer, and this is about Julie and her sister, who is dark-skinned, and Julie is fair-skinned, and about their role as siblings. They don't have the same father, and how they're seen in the public, and just kind of how it's like being sisters. And she also brings in a lot of facts about Congo, if it's called Congo now. Apparently it's had a lot of different names, which was interesting. That part was very interesting, and the part of kind of the relationship they have. Yeah, so this was really good, and it didn't feel like a poetry book due to the fact that was in there, which is nice. And I like reading poetry that's different. I like writing poetry myself, so yeah, good experience. And lastly, I read a graphic novel, a Swedish feminist political graphic artist, sort of whatever you call it, Sara Granier. I love her, she's amazing. Isn't this adorable? So this is all politics, humor stuff. I've showed her books before. She's just amazing. I love her style. It's crazy. She talks a lot about class and society and the economy and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's it for this video. It got very long. I'm gonna try and cut it down. Anyhow, what did you read in February? Let me know, and I'll bring you a haul soon. Bye.